Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derbies and the 2016 Bash for Cash. Demo Derby Masters. Winter Slam 2016. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash and Capital City Carnage. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, welcome to Crash Course Podcast, episode number 166. You guys.
One of these days, it's going to go out over here.
You guys push it closer and closer and
Yeah,
closer.
Seconds.
You're the one that controls the mics.
I
You
know.
got the view buttons.
I know I do.
It's on you.
I know it is. It is all on. It's all on me. But we got a fun show lined up tonight. We're going to be talking with Tanner Workhoven in the second half. We're going to be talking with Tanner.
Chris has got a new toy. Attention. Chris has a new toy.
Yeah. But I can't, too bad those all don't go together.
What? What do you want?
He wants to reach up.
Go back to if I could punch Brian. If I could punch Brian. Waba, waba. Or like, baba, baba.
But yeah, Josh is here, in case
man.
anybody wondered. There's Josh. Brian had a birthday while we were gone.
Mm-hmm. I did.
57.
Close. If I'm 57, Ben's 60, so you write your check, buddy.
That's older? You're older than Brian?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
By a lot.
I thought you guys were in the same grade.
No.
Oh, I
Grew
didn't know
up
that.
together.
How old are you,
That's
Brian
closer to
Dumpkins?
retirement then.
There you go. 43.
Oh, you guys got a long way to go.
And let's
So
face
you're
it,
45?
Brian,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got 15 years, unless Governor Cuomo changes it, then I got 10.
Wow, 10 would be great.
Yeah.
Well, I got
15's not bad.
No.
my plan is if Social Security collapses or anything else like that, and pension dirtballs decide to take off with our pension, pretty much my backup plan is to rob a drug lord's cash stash house.
That's a great idea.
it's good to have a plan.
I'd like
I'm
to
putting
help
it right
you
out
with
there. Putting it right out there.
Sam's Christmas.
Because I'm here to tell you right now.
Wow.
They're not going to call the cops.
No, they're not.
No.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, but then you're on the run for a while.
Oh,
No.
goodness.
Then you got all sorts of money. You can buy protection.
That's awesome.
I could buy my own island.
And I'm the... Oh, man.
That much money? I might help with this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's a plan.
It's
What are
always
you
been a
guys-
dream.
What are you guys doing?
Oh.
I got like 50
Did you
years
hear that
to think
one?
about
Did you
it.
hear Ben's idea?
I heard it, yes.
All right. I
Dreaming
just
of
wanted to make
having
sure. Whew.
Okay.
So we got Sam Williams joining us on the hotline. Sam, man, I apologize about last week and not being able to connect. Called us just as we had signed everything off. I started to assume that you'd gotten delayed on your travels or on your flights, but the big announcement coming that Ultimate Derby now going to be in the very able hands of Candace, and Blizzard Bash in the hands of Smash It following the conclusion of the 2017 season. Had a little bit of time now for all the dust to settle. Congratulations on all the success and certainly exciting turning your attention to family. Nobody's going to fault you for that, but we do hope that you're going to still be at least around Derby in the form of a driver.
Oh, absolutely. We it's like anybody else. You're never going to get away from the sport, and it's an awesome family to be a part of. And it's just with the time, with all of my time that I spend with my regular job and all the travel that I have with that, and with building, the Derby company, it's been an awesome ride. And it's if something has to give, the Derby company was the one to give. But the nice thing is we weren't just going to turn it over to just anybody. We really did our due diligence as far as we only talked to a couple people. We definitely didn't just put it out there for sale. We wanted to find the right people who could keep it going. We spent a lot of time talking to Tim and Russ and with my crew, and I wanted to find a person who could, a group of guys who could all match together. And I think that's absolutely what we found. And I'm just excited that everything's going to keep going. I was at the arena today, getting a bunch of stuff ready for Capital City Carnage, and they're excited. They're excited to meet Tim and Russ and just see how everything goes. And I think it's going to be a really good fit. So we've got all the groundwork set and everything's ready to go. So the nice thing is these guys don't want to change anything. they're definitely the philosophy, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And there's obviously little tweaks that they can make, and just little things that they can keep making it more efficient and better for the drivers. And, that was the biggest thing. Russ just kept hammering home is, I'll do everything. We'll work with your crew. We'll do everything as long as they respect the drivers. And I mean, that's been our biggest motto over the last couple of years, just try to respect the drivers. And so that's the biggest thing. And that's what everybody's on the same page with that. So I think it's going to be awesome. And Topeka's excited and ready for it. And so everybody's on the same page.
You excited about getting out there to drive, Josh?
I've been itching. There's no atmosphere like that. I must have told 1,000 people the story of pulling into that arena, but something about pulling into that place. It's dark outside and cold, and then you pull in and it's like warm and everyone's screaming. And it's like, oh my god!
Except this time you're not going to have any control.
I'm wicked excited, Ben. I actually am super pumped to run with you.
It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be so much fun. It's exciting.
Have you formulated yet in your head the story that you're going to tell people when you have to go to work after Capital City Carnage when you have no front teeth?
Yeah, Ben punched me in the mouth after we got out of the car because I wouldn't turn right.
That's exactly the story. Good.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
That's the truth. There's going to be a pay-per-view for everybody to see.
I can't wait. I've been telling people, as long as I keep steering in the middle of the track, because I cannot get us on the wall. Because that's my only.
Oh my gosh!
I got to
if you
stay
go
in the
on
middle
the
of
wall
the track.
there,
I don't think you'll have any problem with not going down those walls. They've got them pretty much perfected, and I don't think you'll have to worry about that.
Hey, we're going to be big block powered with some 513 gears, so I have a confidence, and Ben is going to be whipping that Chrysler around.
Oh, that's going to be nasty.
I'm just going to be holding on like I'll be a steering wheel holder. I will be a true ladle head. I can't wait.
Earned every piece of it.
Because if people say I drove like shit, it's like, hey, talk to Ben. I was steering it.
I was only steering.
So Sam, are you and Chris going out to Utah again this year to run?
No, we're in the middle of this big move and all that stuff, and I'm trying to sell property and get rid of the house here and get moved, and it's just, we have got so many irons in the fire. We'd love to, but we got to get a new shop built and just get all that stuff done. So, nope, right now we're just kind of focusing on the kids and the wrestling and all that kind of stuff, and, just putting our personal lives back together and trying to get everything back on the same page with that. So we've made a lot of sacrifices with the Derby company, with my regular job. So we're just kind of getting all back on the same page with that. But no, I can't wait to go back out to Utah. I love going out to Utah. So
yeah, I just
one
wondered.
of my
I know
most fun places to run. So
you guys both had great drives out there last year. I just wondering if you're going to get a chance to go back out, but that's too bad. One thing I do have to.
We won't this year, but we're definitely going to try to next year.
That's cool. Hey, I wanted to tell you how good
think
you.
about this. Sam put an El Camino on our lap, and it was a T-shirt that broke Ben's glasses.
Yep. That was fun.
Hey, Sam, I just wanted to tell you how good you looked in your full Ohio State garb when you and Christopher went to the bowl game. That was a nice picture.
I don't know if I lost a bet on that deal or what, but the things you do for your kids. But it was kind of funny. I sat there and I kept watching Christopher's face, and I kept asking him, hey, you ready to go yet? You're third quarter. You ready to go yet? He's like, nope, we're staying, Dad. We're staying. And so we suffered through the whole thing. But it's kind of funny because obviously Tim and Russ are huge Ohio State fans, so they got that in common with my kids. So now we get it from all sides. But
that's cool.
No, it's they're an awesome team, an awesome program, and it'd be the dream come true if my kid ever gets to wrestle for him or anybody like that. So it's it's a neat team, but it's definitely not my choice of a team. It's a team for the kid.
That's cool.
On the topic of Tim and Russ, they had some pretty vital information. Before this whole thing was finalized. How tough was it for you to keep everything under wraps, and for Candace to keep everything under wraps, for Tim and everybody to keep everything so close to the vest so that it did catch everybody so off guard?
Well, my text didn't even know. We were going to announce it on Saturday at the party. My text didn't know till Thursday.
Wow.
So we kept it super quiet because the last thing I wanted out there was, Sam's selling UD or Sam's doing this. And if it didn't work out, we were just going to keep going status quo until, we just decided to retire and shut the show down. And that's the great thing was we might have been able to do it through 17, maybe through 18. But, Tim and Russ were just like, hey, let us just pick it up. And it's, I kind of look at it as a relay. and they're just going to pick up the baton and keep running with it. And so instead of shutting the show down and disappointing everyone and everybody being mad at us and frustrated with us, and then somebody else trying to pick it up but not having the playbook, if you will. And I'm not saying somebody else couldn't have put it together. People definitely could have, but it's going to be, we're trying to make this so seamless. But yeah, we kept it definitely, close. Obviously my family knew. Tim and Russ, we talked for months, because we wanted to make sure all the details worked out for everybody. And so it turned out really well. Candace was she was definitely, apprehensive at first. And then once she got to talk to these guys, and this is how cool those two guys were. We come in here and we closed on Friday and went through all the legal junk and all that stuff, and got through all that, and it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I only live a half an hour, 45 minutes away, and I said, hey guys, I'll come back over and take you out for dinner. And they're like, no, we're gonna go on up. And they went up to Candace's shop and helped her and her dad out, get ready for the party, just hung out with everybody. They're just great guys. And so I think we couldn't have put it in better hands, and Candace is so comfortable and excited, and she's going to do awesome with the summer stuff. I wasn't sure how the reaction was going to be from our Iowa drivers. They're the ones that have been with us the longest. I got many of them in that room that have been with us since 2007. And those guys, it was so great having Tim and Russ there and being able to just kind of tell their story and what they want to do with this. And everybody, we didn't hear anything negative. So it's been good. And so, everything's got a time and a season, and we played ours through, and I think these guys are just going to keep running with it. And all the contracts are signed. In fact, that's what I was doing down there today. I met with the county commissioners, finished executing on the contracts for 18, 19, and 20. So everything's done, signed, inked, and now we're working on the hotel deals for 18, 19, and 20. So come Capital City Carnage, everybody's done, signed, contracted in all the way through 20. So.
Cool. Those Iowa drivers, on the topic of those guys, some of them didn't even know who Tim and Russ were by face. They obviously heard the name of Smash It, but they didn't even recognize them. Walking around the party.
That was the fun part, is those guys were walking around, and of course Jason, from ski, picked them right up, and his wheels were turning right away as far as what was going on, and obviously Mark Klein and people like that. But yeah, a lot of the Iowa drivers didn't know who they either recognized them or just wasn't quite sure who they were. But yeah, we made the announcement about an hour in, and those guys had a crowd around them from then, so it was good for them to be there and be able to kind of tell everybody that hey, we're just here to keep the event going.
A week removed, all the feedback seems to still be trending in a positive direction. I haven't really come across anything where anybody's upset or arguing or pushing back at all. What, have you come across anything like that?
No. In fact, I think where the drivers are saying, hey, the venue's not going to change, the rules aren't going to change, the style of the show is not going to change, the track's not going to change. These guys don't want to change anything. Even when we have to deal with all we kind of had to talk to them about the facility fees and all the different stuff that goes into the contract, and they're like, okay, just don't change anything. And so it's been one of those things that we moved some of the entry fees around so we could get more prize money and stuff like that. So we had to move a little bit of that stuff around, but for the most part, nothing has changed. The couple changes we did make was the youth classes, we're probably going to take a year off from them and get more of the 80s modified back in. Some of the limited weld single event back in, just so more drivers can drive on that, that 2017 kind of. It's going to be a fun show. We got some really big ideas of how to bring them in and take us out, and so it's going to be. It's going to be a really fun show. We brainstormed a lot today down there with their marketing group at the arena. So, but no negative feedback at all, Chris. None that nobody's brought to me, anyways.
Which is great. That's the way that it should be. It seems like we sort of went off topic one time a couple weeks back on this whole how anything successful in Derby ends up being attacked and targeted and torn down. And looking at this transition, as much good has come of Blizzard Bashing, as much good has come of Bash for Cash and Smash and Ultimate Derby, and the fact that this is, as Sam said, at the baton being handed off, passing of the torch, as it were. I'm glad that nobody's tearing it down or attacking it. And I think one of the reasons why it's been so well received is because it's in such, one, able hands, and two, nothing so much has changed. Sam, still, as I understand it, you're going to be at the helm of the ship through the balance of 2017. What input then will Tim and Russ have as sort of the co-promoter this transition year for those guys? Do they have any say or input on the processes of not so much Capital City Carnage but Blizzard Bash?
At Capital City Carnage, they're gonna do a lot of watching. At Capital City Carnage, they're gonna get to see behind the scenes of everything. They're gonna interview the techs that they haven't talked to yet. They're gonna be doing a lot of stuff with meeting with our marketing guy, meeting with the pay-per-view guys, obviously with you guys. They're going to be meeting with the arena, the county commissioners, the mayor. I mean, all the people that just want to shake their hand kind of crap. And so that's going to be a lot of their Capital City Carnage. We're going to have kind of a detailed agenda for them on all that kind of stuff, to be able to watch the show. And then the neat thing is we'll be able to sit down and say, okay, show-wise, is there anything you guys want to change? And I think 17 is going to be definitely co-promoted, but I just don't see any changes coming in the format, anything like that. They may have some better ideas on how we pit or how we do some of that kind of stuff. And if they do, we're all for it. You know, how we do the RV registrations or stuff like that. I just want them to be able to see it all, and then they can, if they want to make a change, we can try some stuff. If you know, they make a suggestion, we go, oh no, we tried that back in 2013. Here's where it bit us. So there's going to be a lot of those conversations because nobody wants to see this fail at all. Right. And so then 18, we're just going to swap roles. I'll go to the background, and I'll still be helping a little bit, but mostly from the background. And that's where 18, I want to spend the time working on the big sponsors for them. You have a huge portion of the Derby world, a huge amount of cars, a huge amount of fan base at this point. We have got to be able to attract somebody big into the sponsorship side. And so that's my 2018. You guys handle the show. I want to start working on getting whomever, Monster Energy drink or whomever, into here so that we can, start getting some of those big sponsorship dollars and even making this thing bigger. So that's what I'm going to try to help them with through 18. After 18, I'll be gone. I mean, I'll still be around the sport. I'll still be helping them if they need help. I'll definitely be there for them. But at that point, they've pretty well got the full reins and they're running. So, and they are more than capable of doing it.
So Team Sam Williams will be one of the 4-man qualifying teams in 2019 then?
Yeah, I've already been asked by a couple teams how long do I have to sit out before I can deal. And I said, man, as many enemies as I've probably made in this sport, you can just put me in the center of the track and let everybody beat on me. You guys can drive around. But no, I would love to come back. And I mean, I've said it all along, I'd love to drive on that track. We definitely want to give it some time and, let everything, my biggest thing is I want the show to be okay. I don't want any distractions for me or, anything like that. Even my son, I've had a few people ask my son if he wants to drive in 17, and we've talked about it, and we just don't want any distractions. We just want it to go smooth so that we can leave the sport on top. And, we left the promoting business in a better shape than when we got in. And that's my whole thing. As long as I leave and the sport is better for us being in it, then I'm plumb happy. I don't want to ever be accused of we come in and fleece the sport or we come in just to try to make money or anything. That's not what we were after. We were after to raise the professionalism of the sport. And, we've made our mistakes. We've made our good things, our bad things. But at the end of the day, if the sport's better for us being in it, then we achieved our goal.
How can you argue with that?
You can.
Absolutely.
No, I think you're going to see for 2018. I think you're going to see a surge of drivers. I think you're going to see I think you're going to see the drivers that are diehard Smash It drivers.
I agree.
That love Tim and Ross.
I agree.
I think are going to migrate.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to run.
JYD.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? I
man.
really truly do. I mean, there's just like Sam says, he has the diehard Iowa guys. Been with them since way back, since day one. And Tim and Russ are the same way.
Yeah.
They have their diehard group. So I think that'd be very interesting to see if it actually does, and I truly think it will happen. But when it does happen, it is going to be a pretty wicked cool show to
Dylan
have.
Lane checked in for Bash for Cash, right?
That's what you'll start.
Well,
seeing.
I think you're going to start. I think you're going to start seeing the flip flop, which is awesome. And and Tim and Russ and Sam, I mean, they had this vision, and what can we do better? How can we get better? How can we make this even bigger yet? Well, you bring
and that's the thing.
Midwest back this way and this way out to Midwest. I mean, you got two of the largest shows in the country. Well, now they just merged.
This is the progression of maybe possibly someday. We talk about national drivers, and there are national drivers, but what if you could become a national driver by running on the true national circuit of going to Kansas,
Utah.
In the spring you go to Capital Carnage, then you go to Bash for Cash, then you go to Blizzard Bash, then you go to and there's maybe eventually we get a true national
tour.
Yeah. Tour. So you could say, like, you know what, I am a national driver because I just hit both or all 5 national shows, and then we have true national drivers, which we do already, but I don't know. This could be like the next step of that. And
that's the thing. I mean, that's why with Sam and Tim and Russ joining forces. I mean, I think that there's probably a lot of guys in the Midwest that have thought about, man, Bash for Cash is a big show. I'd like to go run that, but they aren't sure as far as what to expect and what it is because most of them a lot of them haven't been out this way.
Yes.
And the same thing with guys from this area, from towards our way that wanted to go to Blizzard Bash. And, man, I'm not sure about this or I'm not sure about that. Well, those two worlds just kind of met.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think it's just making the Derby world smaller, and that everybody's going to go, hey, well, we know he's doing this and they're doing this, so let's try it. Let's go to Ohio. Let's go to Topeka. And I don't see any downside in the Derby world.
I think that's been picking up. Yeah. That's been picking up. Guys just picking up and saying, you know what, screw my local hometown show. I'm going to Illinois.
Yep.
I'm going to Florida. I'm going to Virginia.
Yep.
We're seeing way more than that than we ever had. I mean, and this will help even more of that.
Absolutely.
I think. All of a sudden you see guys from Florida driving to Kansas to run.
Yep.
It's like, holy God, it's a long time. But they're saying in their head, like, I want to be national.
Mm-hmm.
I want to run the national.
They want
events.
to be on that stage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They want to be on that
stage.
And like you were on the stage. I mean, and now we're both going to be on the stage in March, exciting. And it's going to be an addiction because it's going to.
But thinking like in our area, and I'm sure this is all over the country, a lot of guys that are a little bit older than us got out of it because they started to feel a plateau. They almost got into they got bored. I've been running the same Chrysler New Yorker the same way for 5 years. I'm sick of it. Well, maybe now we'll get some of those guys saying, you know what, screw it. Let me go run over to Bash for Cash. Let me cross this country line because it's more exciting.
Yeah,
that's more exciting. That's what the group of us did like 10 years ago. It's pretty much got tired of running around here and then went to Ohio, went to Don Long's show, turned back the clock show, and then went to Tim Rush's show. Went in West Virginia. We started traveling and. We had no idea back then. I mean, it was like, well, yeah, look, we'll go out to Kansas. We're like, nah, we ain't going to go halfway across the country. Yeah. But if what you knew now, you knew then, we would have been out. We would have said screw it and just drove halfway across the country.
How the curve changed now, like if you were back then, is now you could sit and watch it on TV.
Right.
For years before you go, you can say I just watch, and then you can go back and rewatch it and say I want to watch the exact heat that I ran in. I want to watch all 20 cars. I want to see, and you can. Life's changed where you don't have to go watch it. You can actually watch it on TV and zoom in and look at it and watch the car. Then you can message the guys that were in those heats. I mean, life's changed for drivers.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I think it makes it easier for you to say you know what, I'm going to Winter Slam.
Right.
Look at Winter Slam. Every year they're getting all these new drivers. It's guys saying, yeah, hey, screw it. I'll drive to Winter Slam. I want to try something different.
Yeah.
And look at Winter Slam. They're getting a bigger venue. They're
sold out.
Prime example of
look
a place.
Utah.
Look at Utah. Utah's getting guys from Ohio.
Yeah.
Driving all the way up there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's
Utah's got to be on the national event list.
Yep.
Just for the Derby world. I think Utah's got to be on the national list.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
I love it out there. Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a life where you let's sit on a porch and have nothing to do for 20 minutes? What is that life going to be like for you?
I got a 7th grader and an 8th grader. I don't know that that's going to happen.
No.
Just keeping them out of trouble is going to be my job for a while. But they We're setting everything you guys are talking about is exactly what Tim and Russ and I have talked about. Is setting the foundation. The guys can go clear across the country. Know it's be consistent. You're going to see guys at Capital City around the ramp that you've never seen before. Not making the calls, just watching. Then all of a sudden you're going to see guys at Bash for Cash that I recognize them from Kansas.
Yeah.
And they're just around the ramp, and they're starting to watch and pick it up. And then so I told them, I said, can you imagine the team of techs you can put together by mixing your crew with our crew and find guys that are willing to go both ways. And the possibilities are endless, and it can be as big as these guys want to make it. And like I said, we're gonna push hard over the next year and a half to get it as big as we can to help. But yeah, I look forward. I feel bad going, man, we've sacrificed so much. The drivers have sacrificed just as much as I have. I mean, those guys who have chased my points, they don't have summers either. They spend so much time away from their families, and we look forward to getting back to driving. But I know they've made a ton of sacrifices to support us, and those drivers I can't thank enough. And it's not, the Iowa guys have been great, but it's not just the Iowa guys. I don't care if it's Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin. The guys have come from all over the place for all these years for us, and now look at them. Eric Millay pulling all the way from all the way out from California. Brad Tice coming all the way in from the east, and it's growing to a great thing, and I agree with you. Tim and Russ are just going to make it even that much more comfortable for a lot more of that population to come to Kansas and a lot of these drivers to go back east. So I think it's going to be good.
Oh, I think it's going to be badass.
Hey.
When you merge the Ohio build style with the Blizzard Bash build style.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the same result, but a lot of different logic getting it there.
Oh, way different.
That's going to be cool.
They're going to keep them completely separate. I don't know how long that'll happen. Through 2020, they're talking just keep them complete. And I told them, I said, guys, one thing that you have to realize is we made a commitment to our drivers that we wouldn't change the rules for 3 years. We're only 1 year into that. And they said, no problem. We'll stick to it 100%. And so it wasn't one of those, they got to understand we're now the owners. It is not that attitude at all. It's 100%, hey, we get it. Keep that commitment. Don't break that. And so it's been they're gonna keep every promise that we've made. So
no, I'm not saying they're going to change the rules at all, Sam. I'm just saying mindset wise.
Oh yeah.
Theory wise,
the way they think back there versus the way they think back here.
Absolutely.
And that's
the builders.
That's the amazing side of this is the building. The engineers that are in this sport are phenomenal, and I put them up against anybody. And it'll be awesome to see. We see it already coming from clear across the country at Blizzard Bash. I can't imagine when you start mixing more of those Ohio-type drivers in there and seeing how they finagle the rules a little bit different, or, their cars are, all the pressure is a little bit different.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's way different.
It'll be awesome.
Well, this is also where you start to see new products made.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is
right?
right?
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Because this is where minds start meeting together and saying whoa, his idea, now add my idea and make this, and all of a sudden we got something totally different. And this is exactly where new products are going to start coming, this is super healthy for the sport.
Right. We've seen it this year out there.
Yes.
You had a mixture of teams, and one team they utilized different pressures and different build styles this way, and the other people on the team were like, oh, he's freaking crazy.
He's out to lunch.
In a way, that shit's gonna work. But afterwards, you're scratching your head, going, "Holy shit, that worked!"
Yes, it did.
That was like, man. Well, and then they're talking more about it, and what about this sharing ideas?
Exactly.
And,
conversations.
Okay, if I like that part of your idea, but I like that part of your idea, and it's like, and you would never have that before.
Yes.
And now
totally
you
true.
just, and that's what I'm talking about. Now you're gonna have a surge. You're gonna have an influx more of more of that merging and more of that creativeness, and it's a text nightmare, but it makes, but it's the shows.
Oh yeah,
it'll make the
awesome.
show be so unique.
Oh.
It'll be more unique than what it is.
Cars are getting so awesome.
Yeah.
Such pieces of art. They really are, some of these,
Oh, yeah.
When you're hearing how long it takes to get a motor in some of these and stuff, it's like, holy shit,
Yep.
It's getting cool.
You mean it does take Jared that long to get the motor in your car?
Nah, we still use stock mounts.
Well, Sam, is there anything that we missed in terms of the last 2 weeks and everybody that we talked to and sort of trying to cover it as best we could? Is there any topics that we overlooked in it?
No, it's all great stuff. I appreciate you guys spending all the time covering it and, making everybody feel comfortable about it, because it is going to be a good thing. Everybody don't want to miss Capital City Carnage. It's going to be an awesome event. I think we're at 162 cars. I talked to them today. They're going to extend the track out another 40 feet. We're going to take it as far to the east as we can. That catwalk's going away. All that stuff's going away. We're taking the track as far east as we can.
Damn.
So it'll even be bigger and faster, and should be able to handle a 30-car feature no problem and not slow everybody up. We should be able to keep the pace up. But in this whole transition, there's 3 people that absolutely this would not have worked if they wouldn't have stayed on board, and that's Candace Freeze, Kenny Money, and Austin Johnson. And if those guys wouldn't have stayed on board, I don't know how we would have made it all happen. And so those guys, I want to thank for sticking with me and trusting me, and that Tim and Russ are going to just take it to the next level, and they're excited and comfortable. And obviously, I want to thank my wife and Melissa and my kids, Christopher and Nicole and Tyler, for putting up with all the years of doing this. They love it. I mean, they're just as sad to see it go as they are excited to have time back with Dad. So it's definitely a bittersweet. So we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay part of it. But you guys and everybody else who's helped us build this, all the drivers, everything else. It is, we can't express how much we appreciate everybody. And we're going to have 2 awesome events before we're done. And we're doing everything we can for Blizzard Bash and for Capital City Carnage this year to make them just the best events we can and hand it off, and that thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So
I got one thing. Can I say one thing to you, Sam? Yeah, just real quick. I said this to Sam privately, and I mean this when I say this. I'm also just coming from a bunch of kids in New York, local county fairs, okay? You changed my life of Demolition Derby when we got out there, and you it was dumb luck that we hooked up with you, and you were nice enough to let us out there. You have totally changed our life of Demolition Derby. Not just us, but how this has all progressed has changed our friends' lives and our families' lives. And there's been so much great stuff. No one can ever take that from you. I want to say thank you from the Derby world, because I love that goddamn Derby. That Derby, that opened my eyes. That changed my life. And I'm saying this for myself. It's awesome what you did. No one can ever take that from you. And what else I think is really cool is it could have been really easy for you to say, like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. I'm folding it up. Everyone see each other later. But you didn't do that. You were really there for the drivers, saying, like, you know what? This is bigger than me, and I want to keep this going for the people that have been there for me. And that's really cool, man. I just want to say that from us. I think it's really cool. I think the Derby world loves it and appreciates it, and thank you.
And think about how far it's come since when we went on the show in September that year, and then we ended up at Blizzard Bash that fall, and now we're in the process of aligning everything so it's vertically the same in Demolition Derby, and our stuff is going to be shared on Derby Nation just like Ultimate Derby stuff is. And one of the things that Sam kept telling us time and time again is be patient and work together.
Yes.
And treat each other like you want to be treated. And even when it was tough, we've tried very hard to do that, and now I think the sport's left in a pretty good spot. I certainly appreciate the opportunities that we've got. I mean, we were able to do some pretty crazy things. And
hey, Sam taught us a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff that we just didn't know. I mean, we were just a bunch of kids coming out there like whatever. Hey, Sam taught us a lot of stuff about the industry that's like helped us. I think the industry's in a way better spot. So thank you, Sam. I mean, I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it a ton.
Absolutely.
We certainly do look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks, because it's going to be here right around the corner.
Absolutely. And, guys, I appreciate you guys taking the first time you guys come out, it was 100% a risk. None of us, I didn't have any money to pay you. We were all in the same boat where it was just trying to scratch whatever we could to make this thing work. And you guys took the risk, drove all the way out here from New York, and did the pay-per-view and everything else. And, I mean, you can see where the numbers went once you guys started helping. And so, I mean, it's that respect is 100% goes both ways. And, you guys helped us grow that. And like I said, I know we've offended some people. I know we've disrespected people and stuff like that. Well, we honestly, if we have, we apologize. And I just want to leave this sport, with a good name. And, we hope that, like I said, my whole goal is I just want to leave it better than when I came in. And, if we've offended, we apologize now. And we just want to have 2 awesome events and keep going. And I think it's going to be fun. And heads held high and gonna rock and roll. And I promise you, these events are gonna be awesome.
I can't wait.
No doubt about it.
Some of the stuff that we've talked about with some of the stuff that we talked about with Candace.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
There's some good stuff in the works.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Really, really looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Sam, again, congratulations on everything. Enjoy a little bit of free time, stepping away from promotions. You got the opportunity still to spend plenty of time building cars, to work close with Chris and extend his Derby career, and of course you got the whole family. You're going to be able to give yourself more of your time too. Appreciate it, and we sure do look forward to seeing you at Capital City Carnage.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for all your help, and we'll just keep building the sport.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, man. We sure will.
All right, you bet.
There
You guys.
goes
Bye.
Sam Williams stepping away from promotion at the conclusion of 2017. We're going to be talking with Tanner Workhoven here in just a few minutes. Let me find the right overlay. There we go. Just letting everybody know, Napa Auto Parts Winter Slam is right around the corner. The Weller class, 2,000 to win. 1,000 to win for the stock 80s, trucks 1,000 to win, compacts 1,000 to win. Hardest hitter in each class, $300, and the trophy longest tow is $100. Second longest is 75, best paint's 100. The show is a week from Saturday.
Yep. Derby season started.
We're about to get crazy here soon.
Grounds and vendor information. You can talk to Jeremy Ertman, 507-525-4290. February 11th is the date, St. Peter, Minnesota. And build questions, you can send those to Randy Waslowski, 507-327-1944. The event sold out and is full. They are going to have the after party at the Best Western in Mankato. Smash Demolition Derbies, we're going to be talking more with those guys here in the coming weeks as we map out more of the stuff going on with Bash for Cash, but we've also got a ton of other announcements that are in and around all that stuff. They've released their approved vendor list for 2017, Derby Tees, Near It Sliders, Big Rock. Good friend of the show, Dave Diver over at Big Rock, DEC Headers, CIDS, Destroyed Dermal Parts, another good friend of the show, Catskill Fabrication, Ryan Ostrander, Lead Sled Wheels, Ski Inc., Joker's Derby Parts, Scott Derby Tire. Scott is all over the place. Bash for Cash is set for May 26th to the 28th at the Ross County Fairgrounds in Chillicothe, Ohio. Online, www.smashitderby.com. We talked about it a moment ago. Capital City Carnage coming up on the 17th and 18th of March. 10,000 to win limited world class. It's going to be crazy. They've made the track bigger so that they can fit more cars.
Ben's mouth was watering.
Oh my God!
I'm so excited.
That's going to be the
limited welds, and it goes down by big swing, by $1,000 swings all the way back down to 10th, 9,000, 8,000, 7,000, on down to 1,000 place for 10th place. $5,000 Mad Dog Award, $60,000 in total payout. $200 to enter the limited weld class. It's a 100-car limit. They're up to like 162 cars now. Online, ultimatederby.com. Email Candace for details if you want more. Candace at ultimatederby.com. You can also jump online. There's Facebook pages and web pages dedicated to Capital City Carnage. And coming back, one more quick hit that we got to do. May Mania right around the corner, May the 13th.
Hell yeah.
That one is stacked. We've been trying to meet up with Johnny Gullo. He's just trying to finalize a couple things and break away from his business outside of Stern Dirt Racing so he can get some time to come on and talk with us about it.
I've been getting messaged by some of the drivers, May Mania. There are some awesome groups of drivers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ben's seen the list. I've had some guys message me, and I'm like, you're at May Mania? Yeah, oh yeah, me and this guy. And I'm like, holy shit. You know,
yeah.
There's some good ones. It's going to be good. I love goddamn Utah.
Ben, you hear anything good about May Mania?
Yeah.
Okay. Good talk, Ben. Back to Josh. Hey, Tanner, can I put you?
Utah really, I mean,
No,
that's another
guys,
place.
you just got awesome questions. I mean, by no means is it are they behind the curve on anything?
No.
You know, they got an awesome.
I had a guy message me and said, is it true that Bobby Brockway and Ben are inspecting? Yeah. And then he just wrote in big letters a 4-letter word. I said, you better change shit now because I ain't going to get past him. I'm telling you right now.
Just to recap from the weekend, old school class, Don Santel coming away with the win at Redneck Rumble. Career win number 97 for him.
Damn.
96 or 9, I can't remember.
He's got to have more than that.
I actually,
That's
Wendell
a
Bowman.
ton, dude.
Wendell Bowman messaged me and he told me that's how many he's closing up on 100. So I trust him.
100?
Yeah, but he had 11 last year.
Dude, I mean, when he was 17, he wasn't picking up feature
96
wins,
win.
you know?
Sorry, I didn't look that up
96?
quick. It was his 96th career win.
That's
Perhaps
awesome.
it was just with 1976 Ford LTDs.
Well,
It's just
good,
it's just
man.
with
you got to
that.
think about it. I mean,
It's just with that particular year of
that's a
car.
lot of wins.
It's ridiculous.
That's a lot of wins. Feature wins.
Come on, we all know how hard it is to win features. I don't care how good you are. You don't just win them. Okay, they're tough to win.
Zach Eaton won the first group of metric cars. Jordan Kirkham won the second group of the metric cars, and his dad Lloyd got second place in that group. Kicker class, Trevor Jones won that one. Some absolutely insane outlaw compact
Oh, my
cars.
God.
It was
Oh yeah, they
nuts.
look like dumpsters.
They were.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I watched the video.
Tony
They sounded-
Bellinger was talking about it, watching dumpster wrestling.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Crazy.
It was nuts.
No, but Don Santel, I watched a little bit of that. I mean, his patience.
Oh,
Guys like
Oh.
him just amaze me, the patience. Because when I get in a car, I don't know if it's ever been you guys, but if you're ever like going slow paced, I start getting this anxiety that the crowd is pissed at me. Like, they're, you know, like, I got to pick it up because the crowd's about to boo at me. But some guys, like, you don't get that? You ever get that?
Yeah.
And
But
some
you're
guys,
you're
like,
not gonna have to worry about that in March.
oh, no, I know that. I'll be screaming like a chick. I'm sure of it.
I'm Josh Decker.
Hey, we gotta get one of those 360 things.
I know. You keep telling me that.
You first order it on your
I gotta
credit
jump
card.
on that.
We need it because they can hear us.
Let's just borrow one.
Yeah.
Well, I
think
that.
you probably have somebody you could borrow one before you have to go buy
No,
one.
I want to buy one. I want to have one all season. But think about it.
I know.
Are you riding to New York this year?
In New York,
Yeah.
I'm going to all goalie shows. So yes.
On the topic of Capital City Carnage, we have one Tanner Workhoven on the line.
Nice.
He's getting ready for Capital City Carnage. We all remember Tanner, a gentleman at Mandan last year who broke his femur.
Yes,
He's in the
sir.
hospital. Called us from the hospital, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fully recovered, green light. He's going to be driving at Capital City Carnage. Tanner, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing all right. How's the build coming?
Slowly but surely, I guess. That's about all I can say.
Are you double caging the driver's side door? Right, he needs double.
I got an idea for it. I haven't started anything yet, but it should be. No one should come through it, I guess.
Okay.
1-inch plate on the inside.
We saw that Blizzard Bash.
Chivers.
Yeah, Chivers from. How's the leg doing? More importantly, how you feeling overall?
I'm good. I'm back to work and everything, and leg feels good, 100%. It's still all cheated up, but they're kind of leaving it up to me if I ever want to get that rod out of there or not. And I guess if it never bothers me, I never have to go into surgery again for it. So
Right.
That's cool.
it's a plus.
What are you building for Capital City Carnage?
I'm building a 91 Merc
Cool.
square body.
Cool.
What do you plan on building for Mandan?
A 91 Merc square body.
I noticed a trend.
Why, you know something about them?
Well, I wanted to have him on because Tanner was one of the first guys to throw the like up when I posted "What if Crash Course went to Mandan?" And
Oh,
we're going to
yeah.
get to see Tanner a couple times this year when Crash Course goes to Mandan.
Woo!
Put it together, finalized everything today. I've been working closely with Ken Hoff and Dustin Anderson. We got that together. So Tanner, we're looking forward to getting out there and seeing you run in Mandan in the team show.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be a good time.
We're bringing two people, and we're trying to decide who to bring. Josh raised his hand. What do you think? Should
Dibs, I got it. I raised it faster than you guys. Dibs.
You can go.
Thank you.
Wow.
Who's going to announce with Chris when you're running your class?
Chris does fine
What's
on
that?
his own.
No, we're just picking on Josh.
But
Oh, okay.
yeah, it happens a lot. I'd ignore it too. But in terms of getting down there and running in Topeka, the news of everything changing hands and some of the evolution that we've seen things taking this week, you excited about getting down there? Has it sort of lit the fire and got you even more excited about getting down and running in Topeka?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a long haul down there, but just looking for. I mean, it's going to be a great experience, and I've never ran a show of that magnitude yet here. So I mean, that's gonna. I don't know. It's gonna be cool. I think it'll be a good time.
Hell yeah.
Well, the way you guys drive out there will fit right in. So that's not going to be any different for you. So I'm sure you'll fare just fine.
Right.
How many 91 Mercs have you got laying around? Does anybody pitch the idea of having you join their team at Blizzard Bash?
What's that?
Has anybody pitched the idea of having you join their team for Blizzard Bash?
No, I haven't. Haven't gotten any phone calls, I guess.
Would you do it?
Yeah, I'd do it if someone asked me. Yeah.
Got to make a team, Josh. I'm telling you. You got to get going on this. You got a great idea.
I need a new job. Way before that. So Tanner, what are you driving drivetrain wise? Motor and training.
What's that?
What are you using for motor and training?
I'm actually going to be using a buddy's motor. It's going to be just a 305 with 305 is pretty hyped up, I guess. It's Trenton Gray's motor.
Okay. Well, he's got great stuff.
Yeah.
So what rear end? What kind of gear?
What's that?
What kind of gear in your rear end?
Oh, I got 456s.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So what's that telling you guys in terms of the gears?
Well, I was just interested. Then he was running 305, so I wondered if you'd go like
if he was going
600 gear.
Yeah,
I
if he was
wondered.
going, going to a deep gear.
I was talking with some guys when we were at Blizzard Bash, and they were saying that with 305s, depending on how they're built, is they actually have more low-end torque. They can get more low-end torque out of them than they can the 350s. The 350 will have more horsepower, but they can get the torque out of the 305s. So I think that overcomes some of the – you won't need as tall a gear. But that was one of the things I learned when we were out there. Because I'd heard of a few guys running 305s out there, and I went and talked to a couple different guys, and they said that the idea is that it's just kind of something different, but they're actually getting more torque out of 305s than the 350s. But
Interesting.
so it'd be cool to see.
How's the leg changed your ability to build? Do you have any lasting effects of that, or has everything been pretty smooth with that? You back to full mobility and everything?
Yeah, everything's back to normal as far as I can tell, I guess. A couple of people have told me I walk with a limp every now and again, but as far as, the building aspect of things, I can get right in there and get after it. It's no problem at all.
That's good.
That's really good news. Cause
Yeah, that's a scary accident. I mean,
Yeah.
you break a femur, that's really
That's brutal.
yeah. That's the strongest bone in your body. That's pretty nasty.
the video when you watch the playback on it. I mean, it wasn't a malicious hit. It wasn't intentional or anything like that. You guys were joking about skinning the door. It wasn't anything intentional at all.
No.
But man, you look at that and you can just tell there was all kinds of bad happening inside of there. And then the pictures of the car, and we got word of it, and then we heard that Tanner was doing okay in the hospital. We sent him the note, and Tanner called. We talked to Tanner when he was in the hospital.
Yep.
And
I remember that.
I was thrilled to hear that you're coming out and going to be running a number of big shows this year and venturing out to Topeka. It's going to be a heck of a show. We're talking about Topeka and how hard everybody's going to be able to drive, and I don't know if everybody's keeping in mind the fact that it's going to be a limited world show this year.
Yes.
The limited world rules, but we also saw how those limited world cars
How
held
hard
up,
they drove at
and
Blizzard
they drove
Bash.
them hard at Blizzard Bash.
And it was a great feature at Blizzard
Yeah, it was.
Bash.
Well, it's
Yeah,
in
it was-
actuality the old Blizzard Bash cars.
True.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah.
True.
Yep.
Ponzer ended up winning that over the one of Nathan Rohrback,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it's
Ponzer was driving that.
But that's the thing is, I mean,
man.
those. I think
guy can
I don't.
drive.
I don't think the rules. No matter what the rules are, the guys are just going to drive hard in there.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
without a doubt.
It's the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, guys get in there, and it's
Turn it on, baby.
yeah. If you, I mean, that's a show to go to, if for Derby fans, because they are just on the gas. It's awesome. You got to experience it.
Touching on that door, though, like you were talking about, this year, earlier in the year, it seems like we've seen some guys get hurt or almost hurt, and it never really is that vicious full track driver door shot. Because Ben ran Todd Siopa's car, and remember, Ben got out, and just this little piece of steel from the outer of the door skin rolled inside and was like a millimeter from Ben's leg. Almost going to
actually hit
slice.
me.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that
there
was
wasn't just one long shot that someone
No,
drilled you on.
that was just a 10-foot bump.
Yeah.
And it peeled the skin, and they actually had it skinned on the inside too. So it was the inside piece that came in.
Well, Bobby Brockway at Blizzard Bash this year in the heat, or the second heat that they ran, somebody hit him. I don't know, it was a couple car lengths, and got him in the door, and that
Knocked
dazed
him out.
Yeah, I mean, we did see some big hits when Jason Dials. That was a pretty far shot, but I mean, we've seen some close ones. Or
Mike Brown hit Eric Moulet in the back corner from about a half track away. Eric hit his right ear on the pillar. I mean, that's how far around his head came.
yeah, that was bad.
But when we went over to Steve Siopa's, Ben and I were there this year watching them put a cage in, and they were running 2x10.
Right.
square tubing, rectangular tubing. Totally changed my eyes, totally changed my view on it, because now every car I'm doing, I'm making sure that my square tubing is dropping below my seat.
Right.
Because I want this exact thing not to happen, 2x10 rectangular tubing, everyone. It's big.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
You can do some stuff with that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Tanner, since you've never been to Topeka, do you do kind of like, in NASCAR, we see guys, they watch the video and they practice it and stuff like that. Have you talked to anybody? Have you tried to get input on how to approach it, what to avoid, what to keep in mind when you're out there at a track that's as dynamic as Topeka is? That atmosphere is crazy.
I mean, I got a lot of buddies that have ran down there before, and I don't know, it's just kind of, you can't really keep or plan for a technique, really. You just jump in, sit down, and hold on, really, is kind of the idea before you head out there.
Absolutely.
It's probably it in a nutshell right there. I mean, we've seen a lot of drivers that they have this strategic plan. They're going to go here. They're going to do this. They've mapped it out. Basically, they pick the first 10 plays that they're going to go through down the list, and that's what they're going to do no matter what. And they pull through the overhead door. They sell the lights, and that plane goes out the window.
Oh, absolutely.
Doesn't even come
As soon as
closer.
the crowd roars and the music comes on, that
Hell
shit's
yeah.
right out the window.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when I ran Blizzard Bash, or what did I run? Blizzard Bash?
Blizzard Bash.
You got some. Oh my God.
How's that concussion going?
Yeah. I'll be real honest. When I run like around here, I'm really focused when I pull on the track. Like, I'm really in the game thinking. I was out to lunch. I was hitting the driver door, the back wheel, my mind, and they had a red flag, and I was saying to myself, like, pull yourself together, man. You're on TV right now. There's so many people watching you. You're driving like an asshole. And I don't know, that atmosphere really screws with your head. It really did, man.
Josh texted me from down there on the track during the red flag. He texted me from there, and he said, all I keep telling myself is, what would Mark Benjamin do? What would Mark Benjamin
do? Dude, bag. He wouldn't do nothing.
Just sit there and wait.
That track, man, it's. I pulled on a lot of tracks.
And they're making it bigger.
I know.
Must be. That's got to be the opposite end, like to our right, where the thing where the cameras were.
Sam mentioned that catwalk's coming out, and they're going to push deeper into that end, and I know where that's coming from. I know that conversation has happened, and this is all that stuff that we talked about with Candace about improving the overall presentation. That's going to help that side too. That this is all going to because by getting that out of there.
Ben, please. Let's get some full tracks. I don't want 3/4. Let's get some fulls, Let's make me sweat going across that track.
How many shots you think that Y-framer will be able to take full track?
Who cares? I hope Ben never takes his foot off that thing. I told Dials, like...
What are you guys running for gears?
513s or something. Yeah,
With a big block.
I told Dials, we will replace whatever Ben breaks. Ben will break some stuff. We will replace it.
Those big blocks ain't made to turn $8,000.
I can't wait. Oh. I know Ben will.
You do know that you're not going to get a chance at a full track shot, right?
No.
There's no way. Nah. There's no way.
But if that C parts, Ben, you take that. You take that.
You think you're going to? It's going to be
25 cars is a lot on that track, but Sam says 40 more foot. That's
a lot.
That's a lot. Mm-hmm. If you can just get us past the first 5 minutes, get 5-10 cars out, then that thing will start opening up. Then Ben's just gonna start. Bah, bah, bah. I can't wait. I'll have my hand out the window, just loving it. I can't wait.
The thing that you can hope for is that the steering breaks.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't do nothing.
That's awesome. Leave that the old leather knuckle in the steering. You'll be thinking that breaks. You got an excuse.
I told them a bunch of stuff to do, like Jake, but then I said, like, Ben and I will be down there the day before. Just there's a whole bunch of stuff that him and I can just bust out in, right?
Just
you
a
give
few
us
minutes.
3 or 4 hours, and you and I can get a lot of Chrysler stuff done.
Mm-hmm. And Jake's laughing at you, being like,
yeah, he's probably like, Decker, shut up.
He's like, Decker, shut up.
They never even seen a Y-framer. He took a picture of it. He took a picture down on it, and he goes, "What the hell is this?" Junk.
Stick with the 91 Mercury.
Oh.
Nah, I gave him some really good ideas.
Yeah.
Tell him where to mount the shocks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's going to be built like Rosa.
There's one little word in them rules that I liked.
Yeah.
Mitch Carlson just sent me a picture of his car for Winter Slam. Looks pretty nice. Ooh.
Yeah, Winter Slam is like right here.
Yeah.
A week away.
Next week.
Tanner, what else have you got on your schedule besides Amanda and Capital City? Where else are you going to be?
We're gonna run those two, and then kind of my hometown show, Sanborn, North Dakota. They're gonna try out a 3-man team chain and bang there this year, and we're gonna run there. That's July 4th, and then after that, I guess we'll see what I got left over from previous shows, and just kind of go from there.
It's good to know that you're getting out there and running.
Absolutely,
the recovery
very cool.
Recovery went well, and you're back in pretty much the same shape as you were before the accident. Really, really looking forward to seeing what you can do down there at Capital City Carnage. It's going to be a fun time for everybody.
Hey, Tanner, I heard that North Dakota is just fields and fields of cars just everywhere. How tough is it to find cars? I see Cordobas online for $300 out there. A lot of cars out there, or not really?
There's getting to be less and less. Everyone's picking them up. They're not dirt cheap anymore. There's no such thing as a $50 car, really. But a guy can still find the new styles pretty easy. The old iron's just pretty much non-existent as far as I'm concerned. But new styles, a guy can pick up pretty decent yet.
I don't even stop on those.
Unless scraps up.
Someone come to my house a couple weeks ago. I forget who it was, but they said, Decker, there's like 8 Vicks on your road. And I said, yeah, I don't even stop on those. Well, we're going to stop on them all. Like, go ahead, take them, get them out of here.
Yeah.
I don't stop on them. Well, I follow the North Dakota page there, and I see like Cordoba's $300, like full, with a big block in it. It's like,
So when
what?
you talk about, Tanner, when you talk about old iron, are you talking about stuff that is not Mopar stuff? Because maybe Josh is just talking about two different things.
There's a guy out there that has 30 Mopars for sale for $300 each, but you got to take all 30. It's like, what?
So what are you waiting on?
Yeah, right. I already tried it with Buell. We got to get a train. We've already done it all. We'd have to get a train and then get someone to take it to the train and then unload it from the train here. We got that far.
So are you talking GMs, or are you talking? Would you drive past a Mopar, or would you stop and talk to the guy about it?
Oh, I'd stop and talk to the guy about it, but it'd go right up for sale or for trading stock. So we don't need none of that around here.
Ouch. That kind of hurts.
So you're right. You can find the Mopars pretty easy because no one wants them, Josh.
That could be true. I'll take them all out there.
They're no good. Nobody likes that.
That's
stuff.
fine.
There's no room.
Yeah, you've been being beaten Mopars for years. At least you can do it in cheaper cars now.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
Someday you'll grow up. Your taste will mature.
No.
Like right now.
No, I won't.
No, you get a half.
It's in my blood,
You
goddamn.
get a half dozen clean Mopars around here now, and
Oh.
get our hands on them and build them. They'd run a lot longer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a different. Again, we've talked about that, talking about Capital City Carnage and Blizzard Bash and Bash for Cash, and how the cars are both hard, but the whole theory behind it is different. And you go other parts of the United States versus up here, the Mopar stuff still has life to it. People want those still.
Well, and what you learn is you didn't know all the theories. I didn't know what the hell I was. I've learned ideas, and I know I'm not allowed to talk about Sam Bando, but I'm gonna. That son of a bitch opened my eyes to some ideas on Chrysler that I would have never.
Well, they're so simple.
I would
you
have never
don't
thought of
even
them.
think of that.
Never thought of them. Never thought of them in my life.
There's like no way that's going to help anything.
Yes, until you watch it. Yes, I know.
Then it's like, whoa,
Ben's
should have
right.
been doing that for years.
Yeah. The Cordoba he built there 2 years ago was pretty.
There's a couple things I would have been doing for years, but now everybody knows about them, so it sucks.
But that's the cool thing about going to these other shows is like maybe someone doesn't explain to you exactly how they did something, but sometimes you see the theory and say like, wait a minute, this theory could work for me in this other spot. I mean, I'm constantly doing that now, and that's the cool thing about going to these other shows.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner, you've been pretty well set on that box style Ford build for a while, right?
Yeah, I guess it's just I kind of stick with what I know. I mean, these are the cars that a guy can still pick up cheap, and if I had a yard full of old iron GMs, let's specify that. Had a yard full of old iron GMs, that's what I'd be running. But the guy can't find those as cheap as he used to, and you just got to kind of stick with what I can afford.
Absolutely.
Hey, there's people out there that say the 90 HD square body Vicks are the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Still, to
Swear
this
by
day,
them.
they swear by them.
Yep.
And but to each their own.
To each their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's like what Josh was saying, is how many times have we gone to these other shows and just seen, comparing apples to apples, like a Ford to a Ford or a box Ford to a box Ford or 9802, 9802, the different ideas behind the builds, and then you start taking the stuff that you do to the new style Ford and apply that to a Riviera or a Cadillac.
Absolutely.
And man, it starts changing the game.
Yes.
It gives cars that were throwaway new life.
Look at Don Santel winning in a
Ford
75 LTD. No one would have ran that.
No.
People wouldn't even stop on that shit 5 years ago.
No.
And this guy's just showing you.
And
Last year he ran one,
Yeah.
right?
He finished second. I think he had one of those in urban destruction.
Urban destruction.
And 10 years ago, they were started adapting the new style to the old style.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's going even farther, going new to the old. Yes.
No, it's they're using the new style theories on the old iron, and Toby Hiley was very successful with it.
Oh yeah, 2010 Blizzard Bash Metal Mayhem when he took the bubble out there and was.
No, I'm talking
wagons.
new style to old style car.
Yeah, okay, I understand what you mean.
And that's been a major influx, and people have been just going backwards with it and making old iron, like Chris said. I mean,
Nasty.
making old iron cars that were throwaways before, just stupid.
Totally. Well, look at suicides and T-Birds. I mean, there was a while where
I
knew where tons of suicides
That
sat.
all has to do with bumper rule.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You take away certain bumper rules in the front ends of them, or
Garbage.
people won't even bother taking them off the trailer.
That's true.
I saw one do some damage with a 500 Cadillac motor in it one time.
Probably would have done more.
Remember Lancaster's car?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
passed
Loves
out
that
from
thing.
freaking asphyxiation inside of it.
After they had the salamander running on the motor for 3 hours to get it warm enough to start.
Oh my god.
He definitely got the award for stuffing 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound can.
That's awesome.
I told him that when we
knows
seen
that.
him out the
Lancaster
Blizzard
knows
Bash. We
funny.
laughed for like 10 minutes over it.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
man. I said, what the hell were you thinking? Well, it worked. I'm like, hell yeah.
Tanner, we're getting to the top end of our hour here. Is there anybody that you wanted to make mention of or thank for helping getting the cars out there on the track?
You know what? I guess the guys I share my shop with, they're usually down here helping me and stuff. And another guy, Brady Larson, I got to give him a shout out. That guy, he'll help me hand over fist. He'll give me the shirt off his back. And I guess Cammie too, my girlfriend. We just had a baby 2 months ago, and I can't thank her enough for being so supportive and allowing me to come down to the shop and work on cars and stuff while she takes care of crew. And they've even been down here once or twice with me while I'm doing it. And
That's cool.
I can't thank her enough for being so cool and letting me do this stuff. So.
Very cool.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us for a little while. We're looking forward to seeing you down in Capital City Carnage. Glad everybody was able to recover and get back on their feet. And definitely looking forward to making our first trip out to Mandan. I'm real excited about that. I know the guys up there are excited about it and real anxious to see what else this summer can bring. There's still more projects that we're working on that we're anxious to bring to you in the next couple of weeks. But for sure, we're looking forward to get up there to Mandan.
All right, right on, man.
We
Have a
appreciate
good
it,
one.
Tanner. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, man.
You bet. Thanks.
There goes Tanner Workhoven, covered and ready for Capital City Carnage. Glad that he's going to be running out there, and then we'll be seeing him again that first weekend of June when we get up to Mandan for our first trip into the Dakotas. I know Josh is excited about that.
I talked to a lot of people up there. There's some cool derbying going on up there.
Mm-hmm.
Up there is where Toddy's got, where they have somewhere up there where like 5 weeks in a row, all the fairs are the same rules. So everyone like builds a shitload of cars and then you just run for 5 weeks, like all the same sets of rules up that way. I thought that was kind of cool.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yep. Well, I think we've covered pretty much everything we want to this week. Our plan right now is to have Johnny on next week so that we can catch up with him. He's got some stuff. He's got so many different directions he's going right now. Can't wait for him to finalize everything so we can get him on and chat a little bit. Appreciate Sam coming on and talking with us for a little while. Appreciate greatly Tanner making some time to come on and hang out with us as well. And we're going to be at Winter Slam here real soon. We're going to be at Capital City Carnage soon, and we just added Mandan to the list, and we got more stuff that we're working on. So that is going to do it for this edition of the Crash Course. We'll be back here again next Monday, again with Johnny Gullo. That's going to do it for us here from the FingerLakes1.com studios. We'll see you next week.
The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com. The 2015 Wadena Grand Slam. Full Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone National. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Masters. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.